The 7-generation decision. We live in a world of immediate gratification. Our systems are designed for it. The quick loan, the processed meal, the sensational news headline, all are engineered for the shortest possible feedback loop between our desire and its satisfaction. We are trained to think in terms of days, weeks, or at most, a single election cycle. But this short-sightedness is a trap. It is the very mechanism that keeps us from seeing the change we are forging for our own children. Today we expand our time horizon. We look beyond the immediate hunger, the immediate bill, the immediate outrage. We are going to talk about a decision that is so profound it can redefine our entire existence, the 7-generation decision. This principle did not emerge from a corporate, boardroom, or a political think tank. It is ancient, timeless wisdom, originating with the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, also known as the Iroquois Confederacy, one of the oldest participatory democracies on Earth. Their great law of peace instructs that in every deliberation, we must consider the impact of our decisions on the 7th generation to come. Let that sink in for a moment. Not just your children, not just your grandchildren, but 7 generations into the future. If you were to meet your great-grandparents and one day your great-grandchildren, that is 7 generations right there. You are the living bridge between them. The principle asks us a simple yet world-shattering question. When we sit in a council today, what world are we leaving for the faces that are still beneath the surface of the ground? Now let us apply this lens to the predatory systems we have been discussing. Let's see them not as they appear today, but as they will be experienced 7 generations from now. First, the financial system. We feel the weight of usurious interest and inescapable debt today. But what is the 7-generation impact of an economy built on loan sharking and legalized predation? It is not merely a personal burden. It is a fundamental theft from the future. The wealth extracted by these systems is capital that will not be available to build the sustainable communities, the clean energy infrastructure, or the resilient local economies of our descendants. We are forcing our children's children to be born into a state of inherent financial servitude, where their labor is already pledged to pay for the debts of their ancestors. We are leaving them chains of interest compounded over 175 years. Second, the toxic food production complex. We know the food that stains our fingers is engineered for addiction, not nourishment. We know it's creating a health crisis of diabetes and heart disease. For God's sake, children are being born with diabetes these days. But the 7-generation impact is even more terrifying. We are actively degrading the biological integrity of human lineage. The inflammatory agents and endocrine disruptors in our food are not just making us sick, they are altering our genetic expression. The field of epigenetics is now confirming what indigenous wisdom has always known, that the environmental exposures and traumas of one generation can be passed down biologically for multiple generations. We are not just eating junk food. We are poisoning the genetic wellspring of our bloodline, weakening the physical vessel of humanity for generations we will never even meet. Third, the destruction of our natural world. The principle of 7-generation stewardship is most often applied to the environment, and for a brutal, factual reason. Consider the practice of overfishing. When industrial fishing vessels use bottom trawling, they drag heavy nets across the ocean floor, devastating coral reefs and seagrass beds that took thousands of years to form. They are destroying the aquatic habitat and the food web in a single pass for a quick profit. The Atlantic cod fishery was once so plentiful you could supposedly walk across the ocean on their backs. It was fished near extinction, with biomass declining by over 99%, collapsing an entire ecosystem and the coastal communities that depended on it. This is not a simple depletion of a resource. It is the permanent annihilation of a legacy. We are not just catching fish, we are burning down the pantry of our great-great-grandchildren and locking the door behind us. And where is the government? The institution supposedly tasked with protecting the long-term health of the nation and its people? It has been captured. It sides with the predators, not the body, because its time horizon has been shrunk to the next election cycle. It allows the legal framework that protects the loan shark. It subsidizes the industrial agriculture that poisons the land and the water. It permits the destruction of ancient marine habitats for a few years of profit. It is making decisions for a headline tomorrow, while we are speaking of the world 175 years from now. They are playing checkers, while the principle of 7 generations demands we play a different game entirely. So what is the decision before us? It is a choice between being a link in a chain of destruction or a bridge of healing. Looking back 7 generations, we see the choices, the wounds, the resilience, the traumas that have shaped our world today. We are the living consequence of their decisions. And now, the tables have turned. We are the ancestors now. The choices we make in this very moment, what we buy, what we eat, where we bank, what we consent to, are the foundational myths of the world our descendants will inherit. We are either passing down unhealed trauma and a broken system, or we are laying the groundwork for a legacy of respect, equity, and sustainability. This is not a vague spiritual idea. It is a practical daily discipline. It means asking ourselves with every purchase, does this nourish only me, or does it also nourish the 7 generations to come? It means with every investment of our energy, am I feeding the tumor, or am I building the new parallel system? It means rejecting the short-term fix of another loan and ensuring the temporary hardship of living within our means, to teach our children a lesson of sovereignty they will pass down for centuries. The 7th generation principle is the ultimate why. It is the deep moral imperative to act for a future we will never see. It is the understanding that the true value of our lives will not be measured by our comfort or our convenience, but by the quality of the world we bequeath to the unborn. We stand at a pivotal moment. We have the awareness, we have the tools, we can see the systems for what they are. The question is no longer what can we do. The question is, what will we choose to leave behind? Will you be the ancestor who saw the destruction coming and looked away? Or will you be the ancestor who, in the face of overwhelming pressure to conform, planted a tree whose shade you knew you would never sit under, who built a foundation for a society they would never inhabit, who broke the chain of poison and passed on a story of courage instead of a bill for their consumption? The 7 generations behind you are watching. The 7 generations ahead are waiting. The decision is ours. Come on, let's make it count.